Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. In this video, we are finally here. We're going to be taking on the last of the role quests. Because as you can see, I finished up my healers, I finished up my magical DPS, and we're moving on to the ranged DPS. This is the last of the role quests, so let's get these out of the way. We are ready. Seeds of Disquiet. Do mine eye deceive me? Lady Cecilo, think to Kami. Lord Hien has requested assistance in the resolution of a most urgent matter. The hunt for a fell beast believed to be a blasphemy. Though we have made great strides in ensuring the safety of our people, we have fear even our finest shinobi will be no match to this enemy, who are commands the skies of Doma. As your talent for striking down foes at a distance is beyond compare, I think no one better to aid us in overcoming this adversary. It would be my pleasure. Why not? Oh, Kami be praised! I shall inform Lady Ugiri that she may receive you at the Doman Enclave. Safe travels, Lady Cecila. Okay, we'll do that. Let's head on off over to the Enclave. And I think I shut off the Enclave when it was completed. Back, I think, when Endwalker came out. But if not, well, this is the completed Enclave. I believe I shut it off, though. I could have sworn I did at some point. Yugiri! It's good to see you, Cecila. When we received word that you, of all people, had answered our call, I could scarcely believe it. Yet, here you are. Why not? Why wouldn't I come up? Lord Hien will be pleased for this reunion. If you wait for here for a moment. I haven't seen this guy in ages. Hey, buddy. Well, that the comet should be guide your steps to our door once more, and such fortuitous timing. Pray forgive me for not affording you here was welcome, but time is not on our side. Not long after receiving word of men transformed into hideous beasts in Thavnair, a similar creature was born of a woman in Asari. After attacking another villager, it took to the skies and fled, though to where we know not. An all too cruel twist of fate, for the one slain was amongst the prisoners returned to us in that deplorable exchange with the Asahi and the Empire, just when they had at last begun to live peace their life back together. Yeah. This blasphemy must be stopped. Alas, our foes won't keep to the skies and well beyond the reach of our samurai and shinobi. Thus do we seek the aid of those proficient in ranged combat, able to pluck the beasts from the heavens. Of course, martial prowess alone will not solve our problems. Others have turned to weaker but no less gruesome abominations, as was the case in Thavnair, and their numbers increased by the day. What I understand, this phenomenon is not unlike a sickness which spreads by feeding on fear and anxiety, emotions which, of late, can be found in abundance. Slaying the beast means nothing if the people's hearts cannot be put at ease. Lord Hien! Hello, guy. Oh god. What now? You have to help the villagers, they... Sir, please, calm yourself and tell us what happened. Another has been turned into Namai, my lord, for a blessing known as was harmed when the beast flew into a rage, but the people are in a panic, fear what may happen next. God damn, I just got here and we're already in trouble. It would seem we have even less time than I thought. Worry not, we will see to the beast. As of yet, there is no cure for this affliction, but we will save what lives we can, I promise you. I trust you are ready to join the fray? Yes. I was last seen near the glittering basin. Come, I will show you. Oh boy. Oh hey, took me straight there. Thanks, guy. I don't have to walk there. The beast was right here, I swear it. I thank you for leading us here, but it's not safe. Please return to your village. Okay. Appreciate that, guy. We should split up if we're having any chance of fighting it. Cecil, what you see to the west, I will search in the north. Yagiri, I leave the east to you. If you find it, remember, these blasphemers are no longer people. They will not hesitate to strike you down, so you mustn't either. Now let's not waste any more time. Okay. So, we need to go that way. Oh, that's not that far at all, actually. It's like right there. Right around the corner. You're right, lad or lass. I can't tell if you're male or female. Nope. Are you alright? We heard shouting and came as fast as we could. It would appear Cecil arrived not a moment too soon. Why? Uh-oh. Why'd you kill my brother? Uh-oh. Your brother? Young man, that creature was not your kin. Not anymore. Had she not laid it to rest, you would have been killed, and countless others. But if your heart cries out for one to blame, let it be me. The beast was slain at my behest, for it was the only way. No. No, you're wrong. You killed him, murdered him. I hate you. Eesh. Hey, guy. What's up? Issei? What are you doing here? Searching for Tombo, though clearly you found him first. The monster was his older brother, as you would have guessed, and Tombo gave chase the moment it ran off. I beg you forgive him for his outburst. His brother was all he had left. Their father was conscripted by the Empire and was regrettably not among those returned to us in the recent exchange of prisoners. The hope they might one day be reunited was their only comfort when the Viceroy still ruled. I can only imagine how they felt when she walked into Asari, a shadow of her former self. Suyu may have had no memories of the monster she was, but her victims still see her in their dreams. Nevertheless, like many, the brothers prayed for mercy that their family restored. But then they learned of her death and of their father's absence. Deprived of hope and hate all at once, they had nothing. My apologies for rambling. It's alright, guy. No, it was rather an enlightening tale. I spared the woman who brought him pain, and took the brother who brought him comfort. I would hate me too. I swear I'll set things right for Tanbo, for all the people of Doma. Please return home, Issei, and be safe. Let's return to the Doma Enclave. This ordeal has given me much to consider. Okay. We can do that. Oh, man. I owe you a great debt for your timely assistance, and an apology for I've made you an executioner in young Tombo's eyes, or that I had been the one he witnessed cut down the beast his brother had become. But we haven't the time to dwell on regrets and what should have been. No, we need to take action, and after hearing of Tombo and his brother, I believe I know what I must do. A great many of our brothers and sisters were returned to us in the prisoner exchange, but even so, there are those who yet remain lost to us. Meanwhile, Yatsuyu, who was directly responsible for much of our people's suffering, was never held to account for her crimes. In death, she claimed vengeance for her suffering at the hands of her brother, but it came at the expense of justice for her countless victims. The people of Donla have every right to resent me for failing them and their grief, but what of those who cannot bring themselves to do even that, who are left alone with their anger and their pain? It may well give way to despair, and then they would share the same fate as Tombo's brother, yes. Which is why we must needs to consider what else might share in his anguish, ere we find ourselves beset by more beasts. I'll begin making rounds of the villages to inquire after those whom their neighbors believe are more stressed of late. Very good. I and the other shinobi will continue our search for the blasphemy which set these events in motion. And you, my friend, we will have need of your talents again ere long. Rest assured, we will keep you apprised of our findings. I would hope so. Alright, Yugiri, what'd you guys find out? Cecil, we've yet to ascertain the whereabouts of the blasphemy from Masari, but for a blessing, we have received no reports of others that have returned. Lord Heian, for his part, has made a concerted effort to go about the villages and converse with his subjects directly. I suspect his constant presence has served to allay the people's fears. As one might expect, he has ever been dedicated and diligent, but I fear he has been away over long. I thought to go and visit what should have been his last destination, Sorry. Might I ask you to accompany me? Why not? I can go for a little walk. Thank you. I'm sure this is no cause for concern, but nevertheless, I should be glad to find him quickly. Okay. To Asari. Where the fuck was Asari? Wasn't that on the... Yeah, it was over there. Probably faster. Well, I think it was a Nakara, wasn't it? Or was it Tamami? I can't remember. Yes, I picked right. Gotta go all the way over there. Hello, Heian. Cecila, Yugiri, my apologies if I gave you cause for concern. Assessing the state of affairs here in Asari has been proven difficult. To put it simply, the people, one and all, refuse to speak with me. They simply bow their heads and turn away at my approach. Knowing the blasphemy originated here, I cannot help but wonder if that has aught to do with their silence. Perhaps you could attempt to engage with the people in my stead. Surely they have no cause to deny the two of you. I should hope not. Nevertheless, I will don a disguise lest I draw undue attention. Come, so let us see what we can discover. Thank you, both of you. Okay, let's find out what's going on. What do these people know that I don't? I owe a great debt to Lord Heian. If not for him, I would still be fighting under an imperial standard. But the village suffered dearly under the occupation. What's more, our lord failed to punish the Viceroy for her crimes and failed to reunite many of with their loved ones. I understand why someone would think poorly of him, even if I do not. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I can't relate, but it's understandable. A blasphemy? You're mistaken, my friend. Our village was visited not by a monster, but a kami, an Izanami. When Lord Heian is cold and callous, she offers us boundless compassion and love. That sounds weird. Anything up here? Nope. Oh, yeah, there you are. Hello, lady. Aye, that's right. The blasphemy was born of a young woman here in Asari. Tragic, really. Every day she prayed for the safe return of her husband, but it was not to be. If I am to be honest, I fear the loss drove her poor stepmother mad. Kisei has ever been a devout believer in the kami and their blessings, but she's somehow convinced herself that Minato has become one. The delusions of a grieving parent, obviously, but an alarming number of people have come to share in her belief. Heresy is what it is. Eesh. Things are not looking good here. But this place can't get a break. I see. Little wonder they would refuse to confide in me. The belief held by some of this blasphemy as a kami, however, is quite concerning. Izanami presides over life and death. She gave birth to the nation of Doma and ushers souls of the departed unto the land of the dead. I trust you understand what it would mean to deny them a source of hope in such dark times, even one such as this. The villagers also claim that Kisei can speak with the dead. In fact, she'll be holding a gathering to demonstrate her powers ere long. The perfect opportunity to gauge the extent of their fanaticism. For me, not for me, but of course, my presence would draw undue attention. Might I ask you both to attend in my stead? Our followers will be gathering in the tavern. Come. Okay, let's see what's going on. Uh-oh, that's music. That's not good. It's like a cult gathering. This music is never good. It's a psychic medium. Oh, spirits of Asari, I beseech you. Lend me your voice and let your presence be known. Cross the veil and be among us once more. Akitsu. Father? Still attending the nets, like I taught you. Yes, Father, every day. Thanks to you, we never want for fish. Our bellies are never empty. I am proud to be your son. I was always too embarrassed to tell you that before, but... And I am proud to have been your father. May you be ever blessed by the sea's bounty. It hurts. Father, what's wrong? He's in terrible pain, my child. Those who achieve death's design yet live. It has disrupted the natural order, and the spirits suffer for it. What must we do to ease their pain? Fear not. Izanami shall put all to rights. She will claim the souls not long for this world and deliver them unto the hereafter. When her work is finished, your father's spirit and all the others will find peace. Can you find my father? Can you help me speak with him? Kisei! Kisei! Can you commune with my husband? What about my family? Help me, Kisei, please! Oh boy. I don't know. Could be a very good act. So, is Kisei's ability all that she claims? I don't know. She could be very good at acting. A young man spoke with his dearly departed father through her. I find that rather hard to believe. Even so, those in attendance appeared quite convinced, my lord. And I suspect the great many villagers I've spoken with recently are as well. Everywhere I went, the people were in so much pain, and there was nothing I could do or say to give them solace. Yet for all their anguish, there was not a single report of villagers turning since the incident with Tombo's brother. Which can only mean the word of Kisei and her ability to speak with the deceased has spread. The belief we can commune with our beloved ones in death is a comfort far beyond my power to provide. Though I fail to see how the people would abide the commune claiming innocent lives to restore order. That doesn't sound right at all. She comes! Oh my god. Izanami! The Blasphemy? Here? Oh boy. That's not good. Lord he and the Kami! She appears from nowhere, and the next instant this poor man was... Damn it, got away. So we were too late. I spoke with him before and is sorry. You recognize him then? Curiously, he and the blasphemies for his victim were for former conscripts. What could the fiend be after, I wonder? It does not become my lord to speak ill of the Kami. I understand that you come to investigate the rumors of a monster born in our village. A blasphemy you called it, but you are sorely mistaken. My stepdaughter Minato was chosen to serve as a vessel for Izanami. I witnessed her ascension with my own eyes. Well, I all her witnessed. Okay, well, found it for myself. Minato, please! I can't. I won't. There's no logic in it. No justice. The Witch of Dome was spared, given a second chance. My husband condemned to die as a conscript. I'll never know what becomes of him. Lord Hien can't give me even that. When I look at the families he made whole at their happiness, I feel the hole in my heart. The gaping wound that will never heal begin to bleed. Uh-oh. Only at my beloved side will I find peace. You mustn't lose faith, Minato. All will be well. Trust in the Kami and Izanami. I want to believe, but... Ugh. Oh god, it's one of those things. Oh boy. Well, at least now I know what it looks like. Izanami has come to bring peace to the souls of the departed, to restore balance between their world and ours. Surely you would not dare to defy the will of the Kami. This balance you speak of has claimed the lives of two innocents, but recently returned to us. I will not accept that the Kami would condone such cruelty. No crueler than the son of Yatsu free and forgiven, while my husband and son fought Garlemald's war, now dead and forgotten in a foreign land. With all due respect, Lord Hien, is it not your duty to protect Dome and her people? How are we to place our faith in the man who places the enemy's safety and the well-being of that of his own subjects? Only the Kami are deserving of our adoration, as they always have been. Well, she'll learn. They all learn at one point. She'll come right back. She'll turn around. The villagers are no doubt loath to ask it of me. Preparations must be made for burials and funeral rites. I can offer that much at least. You seem distracted during our conversation with Kisei. Is something the matter? The echo. And the Blasphemy was indeed born of her stepdaughter. To bear witness to such horror, how her mind must have struggled to comprehend what she saw. And as a woman of faith, perhaps her only surviving family member becoming one of the divine was the only reality with which she could have come to terms. I believe I know now what must be done. I but pray her fervor does not drive her to oppose us. Come, let's return to the Enclave. I don't know. People are whack. From what we told me in revision, the nature of Menal's despair, as well as the focus of her error, is clear. Displaying she was a good-natured and kind-hearted woman, grieving for the loss of her husband. This loss alone may not have been enough to turn her, but my failure to hold Yatsu to account, together with the set of her other families reunited, compounded the turmoil in her broken heart. A path to despair paid for by my good intentions. A truth that will weigh heavy on my consciousness until my dying day. Minata was prepared to die in sadness rather than live in hatred. If she could see the beast she has become, she would implore us to stop her. Which is why we must find the others who are returned to us in the prisoner exchange before they come to harm. Once their safety is assured, we may hunt down the Blasphemy and bring a close to this tragedy. Alright, Yugiri, what's up? Cecil, if you come to ask after the Blasphemy, I have not to share. As of yet, our shinobi have seen no sign of the beast. The returnees, however, are all accounted for, and Lord Hina has seen them all safely to Kian Khan. As such, he is presently assisting with the hunt. For a blessing, there have been no reports of other villages turning, and yet, before the situation takes a turn for the worse, there is a matter I feel a warrant for this investigation. Kisei. Though a villager of Isari, I suspect she may, in fact, hail from my home, Sui no Sato. Knowing that they loathe to answer my inquiries, I entreated the Kojin to contact Sui no Sato in my stead. To hear tell of it, Princess Kurenai has made great strides in establishing stronger ties in the outside world. At mention of Kisei, however, the cordial warmth turned strangely cold. If we're to learn more, I fear we have little choice but to go and speak with the people of Sui no Sato ourselves. A simple visit for you, I imagine, but my banishment complicates matters. That said, it has been many years since I left home. Were I to disguise myself, I might go unnoticed in your company, if you're willing to take the risk. I don't remember why she was banished in the first place. Thank you. Then let's make for Anakuro then. Oh, she's finally going home. It's under disguise, but she's finally going home. That's not much for disguise, lady. The garments I wore when we first met. Sufficient, I think, to conceal my identity. I don't know about that. How many years has it been since the last saw home? I'm a shinobi of Domo, but even as a child, I sought to ensure the safety and survival of Sui no Sato. I was quite bold in those days, for not a touch reckless, and together with the other children, I helped to venture beyond the borders of home. We yearned for adventure, and so one day we sought to behold the wonders of Doma. Imagine our horror to discover a city of ruin and ash, Imperial soldiers marching through the streets. We fled at the sight, but in my haste I lost my way in the bamboo groves. I was there when I first met a young boy named Shun. A sweaty mess as he swung his wooden sword with reckless abandon. Trained to fulfill his duty as a samurai, he said. Having seen the destruction of which the Empire was capable, I too felt the need to protect my home. I joined him in his exercises, and every day my resolve to protect those I loved grew. Sadly, my elders refused to listen. They were content to remain hidden beneath the waves, and hopeful the Empire's notice. With a heavy heart, I leapt in search for the strength I believed we sorely needed, and I found it as a shinobi. But the people feared war and conflict would follow my heels should I return. I did not begrudge them for the decision, nor do I regret my own. Part of me is overjoyed at the thought of seeing home again, only to find the wishes of the Ruby Princess, however, would bode ill for my family. They have suffered enough from my transgressions. That is why, for their sake, I'll remain not but a faithless shinobi at your employ. I don't know, but I think your parents will recognize you instantly. Thank you. With that in mind, let us make for Suino Sato. Let's see how this works. Sweet, take you straight there. Love it! Oh, that's how she'll hide her face. All these years, yet appears to have changed since the day I left. Now is not the time to reminisce. We have work to do. Kisei's departure from Suino Sato was likely decades ago. Perhaps the village elders will know why she chose to leave. Okay. Kisei? That name sounds familiar, and yet... Apologies, friend. My memory is not what it once was. Let's seek out another. That's what they all say. That's an easy excuse to make. I mean, I have ties to with the princess. Why can't I speak on her behalf? I mean, come on. My, it's been quite some time since I last heard that name. She was the priestess of the village, banished after drawing the heir of the former Ruby Princess. What's become of her after all these years, I wonder? Please, is there anything else you can tell us? Unagi was closer if memory serves. Perhaps you should seek her out. Who? Mother. I'd help to avoid my parents, but there's no other way. So I might ask you to take the lead? Okay. Just good to see you again. To what do we all the honor of your visit? Let's see how this meeting goes. Kisei. Yes, we were close, but that was a long, long time ago. Still, if I can be of assistance to the woman whom we owe so much, I'll share all I know. Kisei was born to a family of priests, and even at an early age, she was possessed of extraordinary abilities. Much was expected of her, but everything changed the day she said she could speak with the dead. No one believed her at first, but she continued to insist she could and strove to prove it by demonstrating knowledge well beyond her years, knowledge of events to which she could not have been privy. Word of her talent eventually reached the Ruby Princess, and she was summoned to Shisui of the Violet Tides for a private audience. No one knows what Kisei said to her in the palace, only that the princess was incandescent with rage and ordered her exile forthwith. Some believe Kisei revealed a terrible secret of the royal house, or perhaps spoke a blatant falsehood that proved her a liar. Indeed, the knowledge she claimed to divine from the dead was not always truthful, but who is to say the dead would know the truth, or not seek to deceive? Thus could we never be certain if it was simply a fantasy or a power divine. The one thing that is certain is that no small number of people found comfort in her words. Would that I could tell you more, but sadly I have not seen or spoken with Kisei since her banishment. Forgive me, but have we met your companion before? She looks familiar. I'm sure if I say that, she's gonna interrupt me. I believe this is the first time a humble shinobi has visited Suino Sato. Oh, is that so? For the briefest of moments, you remind me of someone quite dear to my heart. Being a shinobi, I presume you have heard tales of Yugiri Mistwalker. Should you chance to meet her, may I ask you to deliver her a message? Tell her that her mother and father love her, that we could not be more proud of her. I will. I have no doubt she feels the same, and not a day goes by without you in her thoughts. I believe we heard enough. Shall we return to Onakuro? Sure. Come on. My apologies for placing you in so peculiar a situation. Though I must confess, it did my heart good to see my mother and father well. All the more reason I must do all I can to protect the peace. I keep the peace as a Shinobi Doma. No, as a member of the Eastern Alliance. Mayhap there will come a day when Suino Sato opens to the world. A day when Yugiri Mistwalker can be reunited with her mother and father. Would that Lord Hien could be afforded the same opportunity. But Lord Cain and Lady Mina have long since passed. Two of too many lives lost in the Imperial occupation. I cannot imagine he would ever succumb to despair, but make no mistake. Lord Hien knows the pain of his people all too well. I can see in his eyes, and if I may be honest, it troubles me at times. But perhaps I've said too much. Come, we mustn't keep him waiting. Okay. Lovely. The Enclave! Away! What the hell's going on here? Okay. Great. Typical Novice Network stuff. Ian! Welcome back. I trust the journey proved an enlightening one. Yeah? Kinda? She does in fact hail from Suino Sato, and you say she was possessed with these divine gifts since childhood? Genuine or no, the people believe her and more flock to her side with every passing day. But the returnees are safe at the Kian Khan, and its defense is bolstered. As for the Blasphemy, I have spoken with our Confederate allies, among others, and together we will establish a network of contacts across the length and breadth of Doma and take up search in earnest. Mark my words, we will find it. Eventually. Eventually we'll find it. Not quite sure when that's gonna be, but we'll find it. You were right out a moment too soon. The Blasphemy has been sighted on the coast. For mercy, there were no reported casualties as of yet. Just the one I was hoping to see. No sooner did we cast wide our net than a Confederate messenger was at our door. If you would join us, Rasho awaits our arrival at Onakuro. Okay. Onakuro we go. Oops. No! Where am I going? Up there? Okay. Hello, Rasho. What's going on, guys? Well, now that the noble Lord of Domewood should come in person once again, mayhap these blasphemies truly are a threat. Indeed they are, and I was told you and yours side of the are quarried up quite recently. Aye, that we did, near the islands of Shoal Rock. The beast appeared to be docile by all accounts, but appearances can be deceiving. If it is as you say, and this blasphemy has eyes only for former conscripts, and we have not to fear, I trust those we accepted into our care are still in yours at the Key and Khan, enjoying the finest domain hospitality. Aye. Anyway, I know not why it came to the Ruby Sea, nor why it remains idle, but if we act quickly, there's a chance we can take it unawares. I propose we divide our forces. If we want to go ashore, we'll take a ship and circle around the islands. It's the first to find it will have the honor of the kill. Ha! Simple enough plan. Shall be off to Shoal Rock then. I can fly, guy. I'm gonna find it first. You got a boat. You gotta prep the boat. You gotta launch the boat. And you gotta row the boat. Wow, I can just fly. This is where the blasphemy was last sighted. If fates are kind, this will all be over soon. Can only hope. There it is. And there it goes. Damn! Such speed! I doubt even my falcons could keep pace with it. Bah! Don't tell me that's the blasphemy flying off into the distance. I hope the ill will bore me in life might compel the beast to stay and fight. Perhaps less of Minato remains less than I thought. Minato? That monstrosity was Minato? You knew her? Her family tried to flee to Hingashi during the occupation, but the ship was raided and sunk. When we happened upon the wreckage, she was huddled between her parents in a piece of flotsam, desperate to keep warm, but they had long since grown cold. We took her to Anakro, where we nursed her back to health. Couldn't imagine the horror she must have witnessed. The mere sight of our weapons was enough to make her start screaming. She was clearly unfit for our trade, so we sought a village that might take her in. Sorry was that village. Several months later, I had a chance to meet her on this very beach. She was in the company of a young Auri fisherman and I knew at once she had found more than a home there. I saw them here many times after that. She found something comforting about this place, I think. According to reports from Razathan, the memories and desires of those who turn can influence their behavior as blasphemies. Then perhaps Minato's memories are what compelled the beast to come here. That would also explain its timid nature. Minato was never one for violence, and the sight of you, blade drawn, no doubt stirred what little of the wound remains in the monster. If that is the case, an assault with the Kian Khan is unlikely, guarded as it is by our samurai. But how are we to fight an enemy so quick to flee at the first sign of danger? Robbed of her parents, her husband, and now her life. I would rather we didn't have to at all. But I understand full well the risk we take by doing nothing. If we catch sight of the blasphemy again, you'll be the first to know. Perhaps next time we can put her soul to rest. That sucks. There's nothing to do now but bide our time. Come, let's return to the Enclave. This has been a very uneventful role quest sequence. Aside from that first quest, you know, we never see somebody turn. I think this is the first role quest sequence that doesn't have somebody turn in a cutscene. We're almost at the end of it too. This is very uneventful. Again, what we have learned seems that the blasphemy will return to the Shell Rock, but that knowledge will avail us not if we cannot prevent it from escaping again. Uh-oh. Lord Ian, on behalf of the people of Visar, we are come out with a request. We welcome you with open arms and open hearts. What is it you would ask of me? Those returned to us in the prisoner exchange have been granted shelter at the Kian Khan. That they yet you live is an affront to the Kami's grand design, and the spirits of our loved ones suffer for it. Balance must needs to be restored, and so I beseech you to render unto them the goddess Izanami. He's whack! Absolutely not. 'Tis not my place to pray for the death of others, nor draw steel to sate mere bloodlust. When I take a life, be it by command or by my own hand, I do so not in service to vengeance, but to uphold my duty to Doma and her people. How did your mercy for Yatsuyu serve your duty? How were your people made better by the sight of her walking free? For her crimes and her cruelty, I cut her down the day we took Doma Castle. I sought to kill her, and by rights she should have died then and there. But the Kami willed otherwise, and returned her to us alive and bereft of her memories. With no recollection of her deeds, it would have been Tsuyu who faced punishment, not Yatsuyu. This was my judgment, and for it you were denied the justice you deserved. You have every right to resent me. But you come before me and ask that I sacrifice men and women whose only crime was to suffer, to be condemned to a life of servitude. If you truly believe your cause was so sacrosanct, believe yourselves fit to bear the burden and swing the sword, and step forward. Sophistry and lies, they were meant to die, the spirits demands it. Are these words of the dead or the living who yet mourn? Oh, hey, it's this guy! My old buddy! He's got a samurai attire back! Gosetsu! Word of the sorry priestess and her gifts was spread far and wide, and I'd like to see the truth from myself. By coincidence, I crossed paths with a traveler hailing from the self-same village, who had in mind to return as well, but alas, could not. So he bid me deliver a missive in his stead. Judging by the striking resemblance, I take it you are the young fisher Akitsu. This is a letter from my father. He's severely wounded in battle, but expects to make a full recovery. He's alive, but that would mean she's a fraud. I knew it. She's a fraud. Surely one of your towns can divine a plausible explanation for this turn of events. You shall pay for this continually. My daughter will make certain of that. Bitch she got canceled. The cancel culture. Apologies for the abrupt and otherwise unannounced arrival. As you can see, my lord he and I am returned. Full glad I am for it. Thanks to your timely arrival, we have given the lie to Kisei's claims of preternatural. I can never say that word. God damn, I don't know what it is with that word, but I can't say it. Something other powers. I gather you are apprised of recent events. I did not take long to learn the state of affairs here in Doma, and that my assistance may be required. I heard tales of Kisei channeling the dead, including the father of one young fisherman. Imagine my surprise when I saw the spirit in the flesh. He was also on a pilgrimage, paying respects to the departed, and we chanced to meet in a Liberation Front infirmary. Would that we were not brought back together under such circumstances, but I'm glad to see you all hale and hearty. It's good to see this guy again. Oh. What's going on here? Tombo, something the matter? I wish to apologize, Lord Heian. It was wrong of me to say the things I said. I understand nothing can bring back my father, but I was so angry Please, Tombo, you need to apologize. It's just... my brother was always so brave, but father's death was more than he could bear, and turned him into that monster. If he wasn't brave enough, what chance do I have? We wanted to perform the rites for father, but the body was never returned to us, so... Not that I blame you for that, Lord Heian. I understand nothing could be done. That Akitsu's father survives nothing short of a miracle, but I fear is indeed the rare exception. I have offered prayers at more graves than I can count. It would be cruel to give others the false hope that their loved ones might return. And yet Kisei continues to do just that, offering comfort with their lies. A tempting but ephemeral balm for wounds they have yet to heal, much like the anger some harbor for you, or resentment for the families restored while their memories while theirs remain broken. But for those like that poor boy whose hearts lack for hatred, who know only sadness and despair, they too may turn. Exposing the truth of Kisei's deception hasn't helped matters. Prefer to prevent more suffering when we pursue a lasting solution. I'll be most grateful for your counsel, Gosetsu. There is much I could learn from your pilgrimage. If there is not, you require, but say the word, and it shall be done. But it's the least I can do for the part I played not so use tragedy. I failed her in the end, and I will not fail you, but I will not fail you, my lord. Thank you again for your aid, Cecil. The day's events have given me much to consider. When our next step is decided, you'll be the first to know. Okay. What's up? What's our next step, buddy? Regrettably, there have been no signs of the blasphemy since our first encounter at Shoal Rock. As Tansui surmised, it seems to fear confrontation. We, for our part, tried to make good use of this intervening calm. Even now, Lord Heen and Gosetsu discuss how we might prevent other villages from turning. If you wait here for a moment, he'll no doubt wish to hear your thoughts on the matter. Cecil, so glad you can come. As Ygritte no doubt explained, the blasphemy continues to elude us, and so we have turned our attention to other matters we can and should address. After long discussions and deliberation, we believe we have found a means to allay the malaise of our people. If you would, Gosetsu. The idea came to us after considering young Tombo's remarks about his father, whose body was never found and returned to Doma. All others no doubt share in his melancholy, unable to bury or mourn their loved ones as is their right. Put simply, they cannot make peace with their loss. Their anguish, if left to linger, may consume them as well. That we might provide the people of Doma with comfort and closure, we will hold a national funeral at the Swallow's Compass. Those who choose to attend will be asked to present personal effects of the deceased they wish to be enshrined there. Spirits reside in all things, be they living or inanimate, and though we may die, a part of us lives on in the items we cherish most in life. Therefore, in lieu of remains, these belongings will be afforded a place in the royal mausoleum, that the spirits of those lost to us may find their way home to Doma and at last know peace. The announcement has already been made, and a great many people are now engaged in the difficult task of deciding which keepsake will serve as their offering. 'Tis not a decision to be made lightly, but I suspect they will have made up their minds by the time I would go to collect their chosen tokens. I also hope to learn more about the departed from those willing to speak with me, for my benefit and for theirs. To break free of their sorrow, they must seek joy in the memories and the love they share with the departed, and I will help them find it. Might the Liberator of Doma be willing to favor the people with their presence as well? I doubt not that they'll appreciate the gesture. Why not? I can show my face. Good. Yugiri, I lead the people of Asara to you. Gosetsu, might I ask you to... Apologies, my lord, but there is a small but most urgent matter I must tend to first. Very well, shall not pry. Now, Cecil, let's go and pay a visit to the good people in Namai. Is he gonna enshrine something for Yatsuyu? Or Suyu? Alright. Right then, before we begin, I will remind you that we need only listen to the tales of their loved ones. As overseer of the ceremony, I see it as my duty to deliver their effects personally. Because of this, it is of the utmost importance that we keep clear of any beasts that might damage our cargo. It goes without saying how important it is that their offerings are delivered in pristine condition. That will be no good for you, and that will be no good to you in a fight while heavily encumbered. If stealth or flight are not options, I must ask you to fight for us both. But we needn't worry unless the occasion arises. For now, let's be off. Okay. Hello, lass. My husband, my dear sweet Maroya, never returned from Garlemald, but perhaps now that his soul might know peace. Please take this painting brush to the smallest compass. I shall handle it with the utmost care. I would trouble you to tell us more about your husband. Moroya was a kind and gentle soul. There was nothing he loved more in the world than to create. That brush never left his side, not even when he tended to the fields. Any spare moment was dedicated to his craft, and he produced the most wonderful vistas of Yangsha. It was his dream to take us to Kugane, where he would become a famous artist, until he was conscripted. In the early days, he would send drawings of the place they took him, though I know not how. But more time began to pass between each arrival, and then they stopped coming altogether. I know not what far-flung land he died, but I pray it was as beautiful as his work. He sounds like quite a man to hold fast to his art even when forced to endure such hardship. His soul will find peace, of that I have no doubt. Okay. I must thank you again, Lord Heian, for this honor. My son would have been overjoyed to know that his katana will be enshrined at the Swallow's compass. Nay, the honor is mine. I'm sure your son was a fine warrior. Aye, and so was I once upon a time. A samurai, as it happens, in service to your father when the Empire first invaded our lands. Though we were defeated, our spirits broken, my son Matosu was never one to lose hope. He was determined to follow in my footsteps, gave his everything to honing his skill with the blade. When I watched him train, I felt the pride I thought I had forsaken swell in my breast, and I knew how he would restore our family to its former glory. Alas, he could have fled, perhaps started into life anew as a vagabond of some sort, but he bore the burden and fought for Garlemald, for fear of what the Imperials might do if he did not. It is plain he was a loving son and a warrior true. I will care for his blade as if it were mine own, and see it given the honor and respect due a samurai of Doma. Oh, that's nice. Alright. Who's next? Tonbo! He needs to arrive. Oh, fuck me. That's right. I can't get on my mount. God damn it. Where the fuck you at, guy? It's alright. I can't get on my mount. I'm doing these stupid escort. I realize it's quite large, but I want to offer this on behalf of my brother and for our father, Suzushiro. If you're willing, I would very much like to hear more about them. My father, he was a carpenter. He was a good man, a bit stubborn, always thinking about his work. The only time he ever seemed to enjoy himself was when he had a cup of sake in his hand. When my brother came of age, he took up the trade as well. It brought them closer. I'd see them laughing over drinks together, or listening in silence to the crickets singing under the moonlight. I wanted to join them one day. This was their favorite sake. I thought they might miss it. I'm sure it'll taste all the sweeter having come from you. I realize no one can ever replace your brother or father, but if you will allow, I would be honored to share drinks with you in their stead. When you're of age, of course. This should be everything. Would you join me for a short reprieve before I journey back? Poor kid. I wonder who's caring for him. Because it's just him. Because he lost his only family he had left. So I wonder who's caring for him now. They put on brave faces, but the people of Damar are still racked with grief. It is the same at every village I have visited in recent days, but it is only now that I am struck by the contradictory nature of my goals. Having joined the Eastern Alliance and taken steps to revitalize the Enclave, I believe Doma was at last on the path to peace and prosperity. I still do, yet by focusing so keenly in the future, I have neglected the past that yet haunts my people. Even if they do not give in to despair and become beasts that plague our lands like poor Tombo's brother, how are we to truly move forward? How are we to truly move forward if we are to constantly looking back? You speak of their haunted past, Lordy, but what of yours? Me? All things considered, I suppose it was only a matter of time before the subject was broached. Ha! She cuts to the heart of the matter, and the young lord. For the best, I should think, for he cannot lead by example if he has not yet made peace with his own past. He's got his katana back. Look at him. 1,000 apologies, my lord. I was passing through, attending to the matters of which I spoke earlier when I chanced to hear familiar voices in the distance. If I may be so bold, the people of Doma, one and all, understand the sources of your pain. To lose your father in the turmoil of a failed rebellion, his staggering duty to the throne thrust upon you. Aye, how could you ever begin to mourn when first you had to lead? It would behoove you to take part in the funeral rites, my lord. Take this time to make peace with your past, while it is still yours to spend. Though unlikely, if not impossible, were you to become a monster as well, Doma would surely be lost. I thank you for your counsel, Gosetsu, but if I may ask, why is it you keep your blade at the ready? I thought this personal matter is to be naught but a trifle, if I'm not or am I mistaken? Well, I found the katana superior tool for peeling persimmons. Really? I don't think so. I don't think that's how katanas work. Speaking of which, I do believe my stomach begs for sustenance, if you'll excuse me. Look at that, he just brushes it off and walks away. Training. To help slay the blasphemy, no doubt. Fitting that he should offer me counsel, yet refuse to heed it in kind. He's not the warrior he once was. But he is wise, our obstinate friend. If I'm to be perfectly honest, it refines me to recall it. The moment it all came crashing down. We'd taken Doma Castle. Victory was ours, but then we looked out and saw the banners of the 12th Legion marching towards us, the Crown Prince at the fore. No sooner had Gosetsu and I escaped when we received word that Xenos had slain my father. I remember how the fight went out of Gosetsu in an instant, how he wept for his lord while he felt the weight of the profound duty bear down upon my shoulders, crushing, suffocating. The heat of my own breath, the chill of my clammy palms. But duty demanded I master my emotions. When all those around me, Gosetsu included, were consumed by anger and a thirst for vengeance, I had to be in control. Under my orders, we dispersed and fled to then fight another day. To this day, I have not stopped to reflect on my father's death. How could I, devoted as I am to finding Doma's way forward? But now I must. And so, having taken into your confidence, would you see this through with me to the journey's end? Came this far. The keepsake I would offer up at the funeral is hidden in a place not easily reached. We'll have to fly there, I'm afraid, but worry not, my yellow will ferry us. Just a moment. I got my own note, though. Fine. Place we seek is Plum Spring, the mountains, shall we? Oh man. God, I haven't been over here in ages. My parents could bring me here for Hanami as a child. Its beauty and serenity was such that I could forget the realities of the occupation. Indeed, some of my fondest memories of a family are here, which is precisely why I chose this place to conceal the singular gift my father bequeathed to me as a child. What is it? Oh, look at that! Charming, is it not? The great auspice, the Kishian Dashing, said to reside somewhere along the Daryu chain. In those days, anyone and everyone knew the tales of his prowess. Reckless boy that I was, I once even tried to seek him out, hoping he might help us. I buried it here shortly after my coming-of-age ceremony. It seemed a fitting place to both part with my childhood and offer a final goodbye to my mother. More of a keepsake of mine than his. To be sure, but he was never a man of worldly possessions. Still, I suspect he would allow himself a rare smile if he were to see it again after all these years. And that is precisely how I wish to bid him farewell, with a smile. That seems fitting. It should go without saying, I would prefer it not to become known that I kept this doll here. Wouldn't want the children to go jealous now, would we? And with that, I believe it's time we return to the Enclave. Are we not taking him to Swallow's Compass like we were supposed to? What are we doing? Thanks! There are yet more villages to visit and offerings to collect, but preparations are proceeding apace. Soon the people will have no one less cause to be tempted down the path of despair. Of course, there still remains the problem of the Blasphemy. The former conscripts will remain at the Kiangan until it has been dealt with. It will slightly beat us in due time, but before that, it will be honored if you would be present for the funeral rites. Pray speak with Yagiri when next you visit the Enclave, and she'll tell you more of the proceedings. Alright. Let's wrap this up. As ever, your time is impeccable. We but moments ago completed preparations for the funeral. I will inform Lord Hina of your arrival. You're here. Excellent. The Blasphemy continues to shun our settlements, and I mean to make the most of the time its absence affords us. I assume you're planning to take part in the ceremony. Glad to hear it. Unfortunately, Gosetsu will not be joining us today. Why? He's injured himself, as I knew he would with his secret training, and now grumbles from the confines of his bed. But he'll be fine in due course. We may worry over his convalescence after the funeral. Guy's trying too hard to help us. Okay, Swallow's Compass we go! Gotta go way over there. I've arrived here. The villagers should arrive ere long, then we may begin. Let's do this. Oh, it's this lady. She's Lord Hien. I apologize, my lord, for my past transgressions. I yearned to believe my daughter was a coming reborn, but you were right. She is a monster. Words can ill express my shame for advocating the conscripts be sacrificed to appease the dead. Nay, the ceremony shall serve far, far better. And so, as a humble citizen of Doma, I offer my deepest gratitude, and beg for your forgiveness. I will make an offering on behalf of my husband and son, as well as my dear stepdaughter, Minato. I throw myself at on your mercy, Lord Hien. Allow them a place within the mausoleum, and that their spirits may know peace. What'd I tell you? She came around. There is no need for to beg forgiveness, Kisei. Please rise. Go! She will come for you. By the Kami, she gave her life to draw out the Blasphemy? Well, there it is. Minato holds me responsible for her stepmother's death. I will keep its attention. They not! Man, common alert may attempt the charge. I wasn't even paying attention. Formidable foe indeed, but we will not be bested. You know, we're all taking a lot of hits. It's ready to strike on your guard. I hope to actually heal, buddy. can't move. Yeah, none of that can we. We have like no health. You're not healing anybody. Oh, it's gonna go Setsu. Oh. What the fuck? Apologies for the untimely arrival, my lord. Oh, look at this guy. He's not using a katana. He's using a staff. Gosetsu. What is that staff? Pilgrimages prove a most enlightening experience and is where a chance to discover the benefits of ascetic training. I may no longer be fit to wield a blade, my lord, but Shugendo affords me another way to turn the tide of battle. So white magic. Stubborn as ever. I shall have to thank you later. He job changed from a samurai to a white mage. Let's put an end to this. Let's discuss her change of vocation after dealing with the blasphemy. Oh, guy. Ugh. This is nothing. I wanted to... Comes to me! Perhaps a grazing shot. I don't even have that on here. Should probably put that on. Fuck if I know. Testing my will and train both. Hold fast, everyone. Well done, Gosetsu. Now I believe it's past time you put Manao's soul to rest. Not gonna be that. Not gonna get fooled that time. It's dead! She's dead! A deceiver to the bitter end, but she's still a daughter of Doma. She'll have a proper burial and her family's belongings enshrined with the others. Oh, there's the brush, the jar, the doll, the sword, the katana. I've gathered you here today not to speak of the future, but to reflect on the past. To pay respects to loved ones fallen in the field of battle. In honor of the sacrifices, these sons and daughters of Doma shall be given a place here at Swallow's Compass. Though they no longer walk with us in life, they walk with us in spirit. Pray never forget their bravery, that the memories of their legacy will give you comfort and strength. Moriya Motokawa, the aspiring painter. He was a man who saw beauty in all things and one day would have become a renowned artist in Kugane. Motosu Jito, the warrior in training. He longed to become a samurai like his father and bring honor to his family. Suzushiro Kodakumi, the carpenter, the man who wholly dedicated to his craft and hoped to one day pass on his talent to his two loving children. And lastly, Minato Shihogaki and her stepmother Kisei. Theirs was once a happiness to be envied. Minato's parents were murdered by Imperial soldiers, and after being rescued by the Confederacy, Minato was given into the care of the village of Asari. Though she arrived with a broken heart, she was soon mended by the man who would become her husband, the son of Kisei, who herself had been born to Asari on winds of tragedy. Kisei was a child of the deep, born in Suinosato. For her gifts, she was exiled, but with her courage and tenacity, found a new home on the shores of the Ruby Sea. She was a devoted wife and mother, though not to be related by blood. She loved Minato as if she were their own. That is how she lived, how they all lived, and how they should be remembered. Let your hearts swell not with sorrow, but with joy for their memory. Know that proof of their mark left in this world shall remain here, enshrined within the Swallow's Compass for all eternity. Let us still our voices and in silence pray for their souls, that they may share in the peace we have found. God, I love that thing. That's probably one of my favorite themes of Endwalker. Well, our son wasn't expecting a battle with the Blasphemy as a prelude to the ceremony. At least now we may breathe easily, if only for a short while. The villagers have all returned home, and I believe it is time we did the same. Okay. Back to the Enclave. That was exciting. We've held a national funeral and slain a Blasphemy besides. A rather productive day, would you not agree? The former conscripts will be elated to finally return home. Speaking of returns, I think I speak for us all when I say your appearance at Swallow's Compass came as something of a shock. Whatever your injuries within training? Quite painful for some time, I assure you. Despite my best efforts to reclaim my former skills, my back and my hips vigorously protested. I planned to sleep that I might be well rested for the morrow's hunt, but a voice called out to me. I was needed, so I grabbed my cane and ran as quick as my ailing body would allow. The cane suits you, Gosetsu, but your master of healing magic was a sight to behold, almost as surprising as your resurrection following the fall of Doma Castle. I am still but a novice in dire need of training. It is my hope that I will be able to refine my ascetic arts during my next pilgrimage. So, you're leaving then? Or not, Lord Hien, should you find yourself in dire straits once more, I shall fly to your side. Not as a samurai, perhaps, but I will nonetheless give you our enemy's cause to tremble. And with that, I take my leave. You know, I could see what his job becoming an interesting class, like an original class to Final Fantasy XIV. I could see that happening. I mean, that would be kind of a cool concept for a future job, if you ask me. Though it may be years, if not decades, until we truly make peace with our past, we have turned a corner and begun to heal. When we look to the future, are unburdened by grief and ignored, ignored and sadness denied. The path ahead is ever fraught with peril, but we shall walk with our eyes unclouded, and with pride. You have done so much for us, for Doma. I wish there was more I could do for you. You and everybody else. If I may ask one last favor before you leave, please inform our representative at Razanhan that the Blasphemy has been vanquished, and the people of Doma are safe. With any luck, our experiences here will prove useful to other nations that yet grapple with these beasts. Sure. Back to Razanhan. We'll wrap up the final sequence of role quests. Lady Cecily, you return! What word from Doma? The Blasphemy is no more? This is most wonderful news. I must inform the other delegates at once. Thank you again for answering our summons. If another threat should rear its dastardly head, I pray we can count on your assistance again. Okay. Okay, great. Sweet! Alright, so we are officially done with all of the role quests. Now, there is gonna be like one grand finale, big wrap-up sequence of events for having all the role quests done, similar to what happened with the role quest in Shadowbringers, but that won't be coming until, I believe, patch 6.1, which, as of yet, we have no information of. But we can expect that will probably be coming late February, if not sometime in March. March, definitely at the latest. I can't see patch 6.1 coming anytime after March. So, at earliest, we can probably expect it late February, if not early, or if not late March. That's what I'm gonna bet on. But as for the next videos coming up for Final Fantasy XIV in general, obviously the big wrap-up quest for the role quests, which will become whenever that is implemented into the game. There is the future Beast Drive videos, which I want to say I'm pretty positive they're gonna introduce the first Beast Tribe in 6.1. I could be very wrong about that, but I want to say I'm pretty sure they'll introduce the first one. That will be handled like all the other Beast Tribe videos. All those will be recorded, and once all the quests have been done, I'll throw them all into one big video and throw them up on YouTube. Which that video won't be coming up for a while. So for the next video, I'm not quite sure what's going to come first. It might be the story that's brought in with 6.1, if anything. So whatever's added first, it's probably gonna be the story, honestly. That's probably what's gonna be added next. So, whenever we get more content in the game that's, you know, I choose to record, that will be in the next part. So, I hope you enjoyed the world quests, and I will see you in whatever the next part's gonna be. So, yeah. Until then, later.